if you're getting stopped out a lot as an SMC trader, I am willing to bet that you are ignoring the higher time frames. So in this video, I'm going to give you a very simple way to use the daily and weekly charts in your trading. And the best part is you only have to update this every few days or even weeks. So it's a very simple way to add more structure to your trading. I guarantee by the end of this video that you are going to be a better SMC trader if you implement what I'm about to show you. So my name is Justin Bennett, full-time trader since 2011. As always, all of this is my opinion only and not financial advice. So looking at the EURUSD, we are going to today go through just two time frames, weekly, daily. Very, very simple stuff. Now, if you're a trader who uses the 1 hour, 50-minute, 5-minute time frames, what I find is that one reason that you get stopped out a lot is because traders get so embedded in these lower time frames because they think that more is more. And I'm going to tell you right now, less is more. And one of the reasons why you're probably getting stopped out a lot is because you're ignoring what's happening on the higher time frames. That context is key. Okay. So first of all, let's take a look here at the weekly on the EURUSD. So, and this is another thing too, is you have to look left, guys, because right now what traders do is they see this right here. They say, okay, we're in an uptrend, right? All good. But if you look left, zoom out, look left, okay, we are in a downtrend. Now, if we go back here and look at the last true BOS here on the weekly, what you'll notice is that it's off of this low right back here, okay? So this goes back years from where we are currently. So like you have to look pretty far left to find this. And again, this is where traders go wrong because they get so fixated on what's happening on the current screen. They say we're in an uptrend, it's all good, the euro's a buy, okay? But if you go back here, you look at this here, this was the last true BOS on the weekly. And what you'll notice is that all of this here, okay, so basically from this low back here, all of this here is just internal. Why is it internal? Because this over here, once we had this BOS, how do we find the external high? We simply take vertical levels. Okay, I'm not going to draw it out here, but you take from this low down here over here to the point where we got this BOS, and you essentially box price in, okay, and find the highest high within this period. And that's this up here. Okay, so clearly this is the external high. Now, once we had the euro giving us this pullback, okay, right down here. So once we had the market giving us this pullback inside of this range, then we knew that this down here was our external low. So we have external low down here, and we have this external high up here. So let's mark these out. So right down here, guys, you have this level as your external low, and you have this as your external high. Now, the thing is too, is traders tend to avoid doing stuff like this because they think, first of all, it doesn't apply to me because I use a 50-minute chart or I use a 1-hour chart, and I can promise you it absolutely does apply. And again, it's probably why you're getting stopped out a lot because you're ignoring the higher time frames. And second too, guys, this takes virtually no time at all. I mean, how long did that take us, right? A minute to mark this up, and these won't change for months or even years, okay? So it's a very simple thing to do. But this right here tells us that off of this external high, okay, so if we take from external high up here to external low, look at where we just entered into, okay, look at where we are currently. We are in OTE, optimal trade entry. That's the area between the 62%, okay, so 62% and 79% retracement. Notice over here, right, 62% to 79%. That's this dark green area. That's exactly where the euro is right now, okay, within this downtrend. So the euro is not bullish. All of this right here is just internal structure to that overall downtrend. Okay, so anybody looking at this and thinking, okay, well, we're in an uptrend here on the weekly, you know, the euro's a buy, it's all good. That's not necessarily true. All of this here is internal to that larger external structure, which points to a downtrend. Okay, so that's the very first thing. Now let's take this one step further here and talk about symmetry in the market, because I often mention how we have markets moving within channels. And the reason that they do this is because markets are mean reverting and they love symmetry. I always say that markets love symmetry. This is exactly what I mean. So you can see here that off of these lows, we have the market here, okay, over the past few weeks coming into this area. And what you'll notice too is that we have 3 taps here, very similar to what we had back here in this area. So we talked about this in Discord as well when the euro was up here in this area. And in fact, I called this out as a potential top with a target down here in this area. I'll show you why in this video. But if you guys do want my help with your trading in Discord, also the full access to the course, then check out the link right here on the screen. That's actually going to give you a free SMC course. So when you opt into that, that's going to be a free SMC course, basically about 2 hours of content that shows you exactly how I trade full time. And then beyond that link, you will have a chance to join us in Discord and get the free course and get my help in Discord and also see my trades in real time and all of those details once you opt into that free course. Okay, so if you want to join us in Discord, that's great. If not, then no pressure at all. It's obviously your choice. So going back here to the euro, we can see that we are moving within this channel. Okay, now I'm going to restrict this here to the weekly, okay, because I don't want this showing up on the lower time frames, just to keep it simple. But this is what the weekly is telling us. It's telling us that this market is in a downtrend still and that we are currently in OTE. Now that's going to matter if we get what I'm about to show you. So now let's go to a daily time frame. Okay, so let's walk this up. So from back here off of this high, we have a BOS. Okay, so clearly a BOS above here on that candle. So we have a BOS here, clearly an uptrend off of this low. I'm not going to mark this out all the way back here because we don't really need to. But what we have here is off of this high, we have another BOS. Okay, so BOS up here, and then we have another BOS up here. Now, the reason I note that all these are valid is because the whole time when we were getting this, if all you did was just mark up the external low here, so in other words, once you had this confirmed BOS right here, the external low is this one, right? What's the external low within this range? It's this one right here. Once we had the BOS up here, what's the low? It's this one. And if you'll notice, these lows never got taken out. Okay, so if we just draw a simple, horizontal line off of this low here, and then we do the exact same thing off of this low up here, and then we do the same thing up here, what you'll notice is that we have not closed below any of these. Okay, so that right there tells you that all of this is structurally significant and that we haven't had any shift here. Okay, so it also tells you that stuff like this here on the weekly, okay, when we look back at the weekly, that so far this uptrend that we've seen off the low, remember all of this is internal here, that all of this here is still technically in an uptrend. Okay, we haven't had a structural shift. Now going back to the daily time frame, let's take a look at this high and low right here, because again, this is where a lot of traders go wrong. That's not what this video is about. I've talked about external versus internal before. But if this is our external structure, which it is, okay, then highs like this and lows like this here, these are internal. So what we can call this here is an IBOS, okay, so an internal BOS. So we'll mark this as an IBOS. And this low right down here, if we were to get acceptance below on the daily, this would be an internal change of character. Now we don't have that yet so I'm not going to mark this out. But on the daily time frame, if we were to close below here, then this would be an internal change of character below this low. But in order to really shift this, okay, what we need to happen is for the euro to close below this low right here. Because again, this was our last BOS. So this is our last external low. Okay, so external low, internal high. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So again, when you look at this on the higher time frames, and how much time did that take us? Right now we are just a few minutes into this video. It didn't take long at all, maybe 5 minutes of time to actually map this out. And the beautiful part about this is that this stuff is only going to change every few days. Like once we get a close below here, sure, you update this to a daily internal change of character. Once we get a close below here, you update this to an external change of character on the daily. But all of that takes just a matter of seconds, and you only have to do it every few days. As far as this weekly, right, this won't change again for months or even years. But here's how this is going to help you regardless of the time frame that you're on. So even if you're on a 1 hour time frame, if I go here to a daily time frame, and I know that if we close below here, then we have an internal shift, and if we close below here, we have an external shift. Okay, if we get this down here, and I know that we have an external change of character, what that's going to do here is it's going to open up areas like this down here on the weekly. Okay, so if we go back here on the weekly, we know that again, the market has been moving within this internal uptrend. Okay, remember, this is the big picture right here. If we know this right here and we get a shift on the daily time frame, a bearish change of character up here off of this low, okay, and we get that shift happening, then guess what my longer term target's going to be here? Okay, very simple. Obviously, we do have imbalances through here. Okay, so that could become a first longer term target. However, what you'll notice is that this candle right here really stands out. And what you'll also notice is that obviously this is a fair value gap down here. And if we drag this over, where does this line up, right? It lines up right at the bottom of this channel. Now, we don't know if this is going to happen. We don't know if the market's going to make it down here that quickly. But again, when you have an imbalance like this and you have the bottom of a channel like this, if we get that structural shift on the high time frames, then that marks a potentially significant top for the euro to where we are possibly targeting a level down here that could be hundreds of pips below. So in this case, again, if you are trading the 1 hour time frame, if you're trading the 15-minute time frame even, if you know that this is happening on the higher time frames, and you get that structural shift on the daily below here and below here, are you going to want to be buying this market, right? Probably not, because again, we would have that structural shift on the higher time frames that would open up areas like this way down here. Okay, again, you can see this back here, this displacement completely unmitigated right now for the euro. Okay, so that is my point here, is that it does not matter what time frame you're on. Most traders think, oh, I'm on a lower time frame and this doesn't matter to me. What's happening on the daily or weekly, it absolutely does, and it is guaranteed to help you if you follow these rules. Okay, now last thing on this too, though, even if we get that structural shift, guys, it's not a matter of chasing this lower, because you're going to have imbalances up here. So from there, what I would have to see is, at a minimum, is this displacement leg that occurred, I would have to see a move back here into premium, right? So if we were to close down here, let's say, and close below this low right back here, obviously this is a hypothetical, but if we were to close below here, then I'd have to see a move back here into this range, right, before looking for a short, okay? So the same rules apply, what we've talked about in other videos, but the whole point here is how you can use those higher time frames, just 2 simple time frames on the daily and weekly. It takes virtually no time. The updating of this stuff is very, very simple. It takes, again, seconds to do, and it's going to help you a ton when you are looking at markets and trying to figure out where something might go long term, and better yet, whether you should be buying or selling a market, even if you are trading something like a 15-minute time frame or a 1-hour chart. Keep it locked in here, subscribe to the channel. Also check out this free SMC course right here. Beyond that, you will have a chance to join us in Discord if you want. Trade well out there, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.